Hello, legends. How are we all? Joey here from the Ruck and The podcast with our next Ruck report. Now, I'm just going to invite my friend Ryan, who is going to join us tonight. So let's just see if we can connect him, and we will get. While we wait for Ryan to join, I hope everyone had a fantastic weekend. What a great weekend of rugby league it was too. Some fantastic footy games, some not so great footy games. I know tipping wise, I got absolutely hammered in tipping, so it wasn't great. But look, wherever you are, throw your tips in the comments. I want to see how many you got this week. I only got three. Back the Titans in against the Eagles in the last game, and the Titans let us down. So not great there. Only getting three. So if you do follow the podcast, you know we wear a liability hat each week. So I may be looking at the liability hat this week, the way it is going. But look, while we wait for Ryan, how about we jump into a bit of a state of origin now? Of course, game two happened on Wednesday night. Queensland getting the win 26-24. Interesting game. I thought New South Wales, look, lots of errors in that first half, and probably their own worst enemy. But yeah, look, you know, a lot's been made of. Sorry, excuse me. A lot's been made of the penalty count and things like that, and I'm a big believer in that too. 8-0 at half time. You're pretty much saying Queensland were perfect in that game. Look, it's very, very interesting for me. I don't know how a team can be perfect, especially in one half of rugby league. But look, that's what was officiated. Unfortunately, we did make a lot of errors, and we were very ill-disciplined in that first half, and we probably deserved most of those penalties. So, yeah, look, it's tough. Sorry, just paused a little bit there for a sec. We're just trying to get Ryan in here to join, see if it is working. It doesn't seem like it is at the moment. Ryan, you with us, mate? Can't see if he is joining yet. But, yeah, look, that second half sort of showed what an even penalty count could do. At two all penalties, Queensland scored no points. So, really interesting stuff when you look at it that way, to say that, okay, the penalty count was 10-2 at the end of the game. But, oh, he said, Ayo, okay, mate. I'm hitting invite again, so hopefully we can get you in here. Not sure what's happening. Really sorry about that, everyone. But yeah, look, we keep talking about Origin. Throw in the comments what you thought about Origin Game 2, whether you agreed with the calls, disagreed. Uh, Bundy Malat, shout out, mate. Sharks shit the bed like Amber Heard. Well, yeah, mate, you're not wrong there. Actually took the Sharks. I thought Broncos can't play Sunday footy, but to no avail. So I don't know. Maybe you can tell me where the Sharks go from here, mate. Because look, they haven't looked great. Here we go. We're all
Lee,
connected. Yeah, we
hang on.
got you. I got all your
There we
drugs.
go.
Got all your drugs there. There he is.
There it is. Sorry, what's going on there? There we are. All
Oh,
right.
good. We're in. Oh, beautiful. All right, mate. We're just talking about Origin at the moment. So, as you probably
Be
heard
fun. Let's
before,
let's proceed. Yeah, why the fuck not?
yeah,
No good.
yeah. Obviously, we've talked in our group chat a bit about it. But, mate, what'd you make of first the game and the penalty count?
Yeah, I spoke about it in the group chat, like you said, man. I the whole niggling thing that was just pissing me off the whole bloody game. Yeah, like we brought into Queensland's whole like that. I guess their game set was get in their heads, get into it, like yeah,
Yeah,
like show them that they're just here to play this different style of game, like this unstructured game that we brought into game one that really messed them up. They brought this different style of gameplay into game two. It really played well into say like someone like along the lines of say Jerome Luai, who really brought into say, I was pretty vocal in our group chat of like they just kept carrying on with this whole like this niggling, and the whole game was just this little like everyone's hiding behind the one punch rule, and
yeah,
it was just
yeah,
a shit game of like everyone's just trying to like niggle away and claw and like drake the ball and just do these little shitty plays that we didn't do in game one, and it just fed into Queensland's game plan perfectly, and that's where they got ahead. And they got ahead so easily, like once they got in our heads, and it was just, I think it was game over since then. Like it was hard to come back from when Queensland really got the upper hand then. They just sort of led, and once they got ahead of us and they got inside of our heads, and it was just one way traffic from there. Like it would have been so hard to come back from there, but
Yeah, mate.
it was a hard
I
watch.
tend to agree. I tend to agree. It was yeah, it was not a good watch at all. A couple of shout outs. Daddy Ducci, he said, Upper the Eels, Rugby League Therapy Podcast said, not that you asked, Joey, but I'm on board. The origin is augmented to avoid dead rubbers bandwagon. I tend to agree. I think the NRL are going to make good money because it is a decider. So we haven't had a whitewash for New South Wales since 2000. So it's been a long time since New South Wales have had a whitewash. Coincidence? I don't know. So yeah, interesting one there. And then, of course, your mate, Bundy Malat. Sharks go to the glory hole to shaft the fans again. Yeah, mate. Look, it was, it was not good. It was not good. But we'll get to that. We'll get to that.
Fuck off, Brett. Go away.
The first game we're going to start off with, of course, is the Tigers and the Raiders. Now, Campbelltown Stadium. Look, Tigers probably came into this one. Luai was free to play, backed up from Origin. Didn't
Yep.
know if he would get suspended after that eye gouge, attempted eye gouge. But he did play, and I thought that, Tigers they may send up to the Raiders here, but the first half was all Canberra. Second half, the Tigers did come back, and it looked like, they may get the win. But, mate, Tigers, 5 losses in a row now. Are we starting to see the old Tigers?
No, I don't think so, man. Like five losses in a row, yes, they were so close. Like they were in it. A few calls went against them as well. Like it was a
Yeah.
hard watch too for the poor Tigers, man. Like they were in it right up until the end. I don't think the Raiders were overly convincing either. I mean, like everyone I know tipped the Raiders, like at
Yeah.
least 13 plus. Like they weren't that kind of team that we saw like maybe a few weeks ago, which was hard, but they were good regardless. Yeah, I think Tafane was the difference there. Like he was brilliant. He really stood up and did everything he was meant to do there, but they weren't impressive. Like they weren't. I thought they put them away in a big way. Like I thought, maybe by at least 20 points. I thought the Raiders would get up, but it was close, man. Like it was not as convincing as I thought they might have got up against the Tigers there. Like they were good. Like Luai was good. Like the whole Tigers back line was good. Like they all showed up. It was a good game to watch regardless. Yeah, like it just wasn't what we thought it might have happened, but
Do we think from an Origin point of view, we might need to bring in Appy Coruscant and probably a Terrell May?
oh, happy maybe. Like I don't think Robson's the issue with New South Wales. Like and
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll talk about it when we jump on the potty later, but like I don't think Robson's the issue. Like I think he does well, which is hard for Watson to sort of slot in. Like when Connor Watson comes on, he tries to slot in there at the end. Like I don't think like that's the way to go there. And I'm sure we'll chat about it like tomorrow or whatever. But
Yeah.
I don't think that's the issue there. But yeah, maybe, yeah, like, but then again, like and again, we'll talk about it later, but giving blokes like Haas the ball, like paying Haas the ball when he's just standing there flat footed, like he got so many passes off
You
Cleary when
can't
he was
go
just
anywhere.
standing there and he just stood there and he just palmed. He did this shit play where there was nothing going for him. I don't think that's the way forward either. Like,
Yeah,
like
I got
once
to
they go
agree.
back to the drawing board and they just focus and they just go back to those basics, like they're going to be like the team that we want them to be and they're going to be unbeatable then. But yeah, hard fucking watch, man, wasn't it?
It certainly was. Shout out to Nick 777, and he has said, "Where will Cobbo join?" Lots of info coming out at the moment that Cobbo is looking to leave the Broncos. The Broncos do want to re-sign him. Don't know if that's going to happen. Look, the early choice will be the Roosters. It always is at the moment. Whenever a player is leaving a club, are they going to the Chooks? I don't think we really need a winger, and we'll talk about
Yeah.
this. We'll talk about our best winger soon in Mark Nwangani Tawaze and how good he
Mm.
was today. But I
Yeah.
don't really think Roosters need a winger. I think,
Yeah.
look, if you look at a couple of teams that could use a good winger, maybe Tigers. Tigers could use a
Yeah,
decent winger.
I
They
said
got
it today.
Tarova on one side,
A
Skelton
couple
on
of
the
mates.
other.
Yeah, Staines is good on the other side. But I said to a few mates today, like the Cobbo's manager has come out and said that he wants at least 750,000 for Cobbo, which is a massive amount for a
A
winger.
winger. Yeah.
He has played fullback before, but he played fullback recently for the Broncos, but he got dropped back to wing for Jesse Arthurs. So like I don't
He
think
just
like
looks a bit big
it,
at the moment too.
yeah,
Like he's put on a
he's
bit
a
of
bit yeah.
size.
And he needs to prove he's a fullback if he wants to be like a fullback slash winger, but 750,000 for a winger is massive money for
Oh
like he's
yeah.
not even the best he's not even the best winger in the competition. So like that's I don't think he's gonna get that. Like to be honest with you, like
Yeah,
he's gotta
absolutely.
yeah, kind of get real with himself here.
But it's a great question, Nick. If any Broncos fans are in here, please let us know what you think is going to happen with Cobo. Of course, please keep sending your comments through. We absolutely love it. All right, mate, let's jump into a bit of Saturday footy. We had the one Friday night game, of course.
Yep.
Jumping into Saturday footy now, our first game for Saturday was an absolute cracker. 3 p.m. game, of course, and it was the Wars against the Panthers now. Mate, this game, I think it was a really hard one to pick because everyone sort of wrote off Penrith because it was their reserve grade side and they were playing against a full strength Wires side. But credit to them, they got it done and they got it done quite convincingly in the end, 28-18. Mate, let's talk a bit about this. The injuries now for the Wires moving forward. Now in a group chat, I told you guys, Daniel Mateni-Zelezniak, he's done syndesmosis. He looks like he could be gone for the rest of the season. And it looks like Luke Metcalf has picked up an injury as well, which, if that is the case, he's been one of their best all year.
Yeah.
Do you think this could derail the Warriors season?
Absolutely, man. I think that'd be massive off Luke Metcalf. We like like I said on the body last week, I don't think Penrith are anywhere like I wouldn't give him a chance without like all the Origin stars backing up and like I'm happy to be proven wrong there, but and Penrith
Yeah.
are just proving their depth again. But yeah, I don't know, man. Like there was a bit of talk that Cleary might be injured for Origin 2. Oh, sorry, Origin
Yeah.
3. And Luke Metcalf may be the one to step up with his structured gameplay and etc. But with this injury now, like like I don't think he was a shoe in to get that spot anyway. Like I think he still had to
Mm.
kind of earn that position. But like, that's massive for the Warriors, regardless. Like they've gotten to that like second slash third position where they are on the back of his massive gameplay there. So yeah, I don't know if Luke Metcalf is out, it might very well may be game over for the Warriors here. Like I hope not, because it's always awesome to see him at the top there. But
Yeah.
yeah, they definitely need him, or they're going to win their games on the back of him and his brilliance there. So hopefully he's
Yeah.
good to go.
Hopefully, it's going to be interesting. They do have Tanner Boyd sitting in the wings, of course, comes from the Titans, who has a
Mm,
fantastic kicking game. So if he does go down, I mean, I'd say they'll throw Tanner Boyd at 7, or they got Tamari Martin as well. Mate, on the other side of things, the Penrith reserve grade, great to see them get the win. I thought it was a real testament to Ivan Cleary's coaching to back these young guys and back the system that they've built over these past few years. So really good to see. I mean, like we're not Panther fans. We both live in Penrith, but we're not Panther fans. But it
mm,
was good to see them get the win, and I think it's dangerous signs for opposition. Like they've now won 3 games in a row, heading
yeah.
into the Dogs this week, which will be an absolute cracker of a game.
Mm,
But yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. But mate, we'll jump into our next game now. Newcastle v Dolphins. Quickly from shout out to Crumb and Crave. What do you think the end score will be come last Origin game? Ooh, interesting one. I'm going to go. I think it's going to be tight. I reckon there's going to be a
mm.
field goal in it. I'm going to say 21-20 as my final score. What do you
Yeah.
reckon?
I think it also comes down to who gets selected. Yeah, particularly if you are looking at Cleary maybe not getting selected, or sorry, maybe being injured. But
Yeah,
yeah, I don't know. It's too hard to pick at this stage. I think the home ground advantage, like, thank God we got that. If we were playing this last game at Suncorp, you'd almost hand the series right now to Queensland. Yeah, but I think
yeah,
that's going to play into our hands pretty well here. Like, so hopefully we get a full, 80, 90,000 here at Suncorp, and sorry, at Accor
that's
Stadium
all.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that'll be the difference there. Yeah, I hope. Yeah, of course. Bloody hope we get up out of them. Yeah, bloody hate giving those
Hopefully,
Queenslanders a bloody bragging rights, but
Yeah.
they've had
Look, we
long
love your
enough.
comments. Please keep
Give us a
sending through the
tune.
comments as we go. We
Yeah,
love them.
absolutely. Yeah.
Beautiful. All right, let's talk Newcastle Dolphins. Now, another upset this week.
Mm.
Saturday footy was terrible. Newcastle getting the win 26-20. Mate, the Dolphins had scored 50 points in consecutive weeks. And we talked on the pod last week. I told you guys a stat that there's only been three teams in history that have scored 50 points consecutively in three straight weeks. We probably thought that was going to be the Dolphins. Fletcher Sharp got ruled out, and I gave Newcastle absolutely no hope. Shout out to our social
Yeah.
media, Mick Makes Art, who wrote FTK in the
What does
chat.
that mean?
So we don't know what that means. You know, if you do want to find out, make sure you tune in to the Ruck Infringement Podcast, episode 115, which we'll be recording at Monday night. So it's going to be an absolute beauty. But, mate, let's firstly talk about the Dolphins. Where do you think it
Yeah.
went wrong for them?
I I couldn't even tell you. Like it was kind of everywhere, weren't they? Like they the last few weeks we watched them and we're all on them, and you know they're winning by more than 50 points, and they can't put a foot they can't put a foot wrong here, and they're doing everything they need to be doing, but.
Yeah.
And then they come up against the Knights, and we all said, you know, like, oh, maybe they'll put 50, but potentially this week is the week they put 60 on the Knights, and
Yeah.
then they come out and they do this, and then towards the end of the game too, like I feel like they were the Knights were done pretty hard here. Like I feel like the forward pass to Brayley, like right at the end there, there was a couple of calls that didn't go towards the Knights. You know, I feel like the Dolphins were in it for a little bit,
That's
like
big coming from you, mate.
maybe the yeah, I love the Knights. What are you talking? And then maybe you. So and then like the Dolphins were just in it, and they were in it, and then they were in it, and right up to the end, and then like the Knights got away with it, and I think deservedly they got the win too. Like they were definitely the better team of the night. Like the Dolphins were just below average, which is just proves again why you probably if you've picked a perfect round so far this year, like you do you really know NRL? Like
You
it's
don't
just
get
a
it. That's
bloody hard
right.
watch, isn't it?
Shout
Or
out
maybe
to
you
the
do.
international cricket sensation who got 6 from 8 this week. So
No, okay.
don't know
So
how he
he
did
won't be
that.
wearing the hat.
No, he won't be. He'll be you or me, I think.
uh,
Well, sorry, excuse me. Yeah, it's an interesting one. I think Newcastle over the past few weeks have actually not been too bad. Of course, they lost to the
yeah,
Roosters last week, that 12-8 result. The week before that, they beat Manly, come from behind win. So, like, they really are starting to build. It's been really interesting because, obviously, if you had said this a month ago, I'd say, oh, I think Knights for the spoon. But
yeah,
it's been
yeah.
really interesting how they're going now. Crumb and Crave has written, what's your predictions for the Knights this year on the ladder? Uh, it's changed.
Mm.
Probably start of
Yeah,
the year, I said bottom four. I probably still believe that, based
yeah.
on now Fletcher Sharp is going to be out for 6 to 8 weeks. Uh, Found out today, so that's pretty hectic for them. They will need a new 5'8". Maybe Hastings gets recalled. Who knows? Dom Young was really good for them. But, mate, what's your prediction?
I'm with you, man. Like yeah, I don't think they're gonna get the top eight at all. Like I think they're still gonna be there or thereabouts. I mean, there's not much between the bottom eight and the top eight, anyways. So like they're sort of gonna be there or thereabouts. But I don't see him getting too much higher than where they are now. Particularly, like you said,
Yeah,
once Fletcher Sharp went down, once he's out, like he's been just there. Like he's the revival that they needed, like was on the back of Fletcher Sharp, and now that
yeah,
he's out, like it's going to be too hard for him to do. Caitlin Ponga was there, like I think he played one of his better games this year that he's played for the Knights. But it just still, you can tell like he's got that extra gear. He can do more. Not that he can do more, but you know he's got that potential to be so much better than what we've seen him play this year, which is disappointing because Kalen Ponga, like when he's playing his best footy, he's one of the best players to watch. But
yeah,
it's just again frustrating to see. Like you know he's got all this potential. You know he can do better than what he's doing now, and he's just not living up to it.
absolutely.
Whether he needs more ball, whether he needs less responsibility, or maybe he wants more responsibility, you know that he's got this game that he can really step up and do a lot more. Yeah, we'll see. Like I don't see him really climbing though. Where they are now, I think where they sort of cemented themselves in that bottom two/bottom three is kind of maybe the best they'll do this year. I've always been pretty hard on the Knights this year, like it's no secret, but you know, like it would be good to see them a little bit higher, but let's just see. Yeah, but as far as they are now, like I don't see much happening. Yeah, particularly with Fletcher Sharp out now. Like he
Yeah,
was
I
massive.
have
Yeah,
to agree. I have to agree with you. Bundy Malat wrote, Dylan Brown will solve all. Ponga needs someone to take the pressure off and let him play roaming footy.
Mm,
Mate, I have to disagree. I think Dylan Brown is going to go terribly at Newcastle. I do
mm,
not think he's the answer at all. Dylan Brown is a 5'8". He's not a halfback.
mm.
I don't know how he's going to control the game. I think Ponga wants out of that club. I don't think Ponga hangs around as well, so I don't know how they'll go. But thank you for the comment. We love it. Let's jump into our next game. It was Melbourne against South Sydney. Now, what a game this was.
I
Melbourne
know,
getting it
yeah.
done 25-24, but we were we were chatting in our group chat, and we were very, very shocked by this. But of course, Melbourne flew out to a lead, and we thought, well, Melbourne are going to win this game pretty easily. And then Souths came back, and they hit back hard. Bundy Millat, sarcasm, profit,
So,
sarcasm. I know, mate. I know. Trust me. Uh, yeah, Brown
yeah.
is definitely not the answer. Sorry.
Mm. No, you're right, yeah.
No,
It was
yeah,
what
just
a weird
not 100,
game.
percent but yeah,
What a
Storm. Yeah,
strange game that was, yeah. Like we I feel like you said we're talking about I nearly turned it off at half time. Like Melbourne were just not the Melbourne that we expect to see. They would drop balls, offsides all the time. Like they were just rubbish, weren't they? Like they couldn't do a thing right. They got those two quick tries in within the first like 6 minutes. I think they were up
yeah,
about like 12-0, and which was like it looked like a one-way game. And then from there they just did absolutely nothing. Half time rolled around and like we were talking about switching it off, and what a shit game this is just becoming. Like it's a game of who can drop the ball more. And then
yeah.
yeah, South Sydney came back, and then all of a sudden it's one of the best games I've seen this year. And yeah, it was great to see it go to Golden Point. I didn't think I thought all the momentum was with South Sydney. I thought Trell Mitt would get him over the line. I thought he'd get the field goal there and easily win the game for him in Golden Point. But yeah, well, what do you know? Yeah, absolutely. You don't count out Melbourne, and there you go. Like just proving it again that like off the back of Hughes, like he got that beautiful field goal there in the end. You
Yeah.
can't. They're hard to beat, yeah. And but then again, like we spoke about it again on the pod, they're Melbourne are a top four team. South Sydney are in the bottom four, but they're not like an easy pushover team, and Melbourne had to put them away if they want to be anywhere near the top of this competition, and they didn't do it convincingly. Like they sort of struggled, but they had just shit ball control. Like they weren't. They looked like they wanted to be somewhere else most of the game. Like it was a hard watch. What do you reckon?
Shout out to Alex Johnson's 4 tries, moved
Yeah.
into 206, I believe it was. 206 now. So he is only 6 tries off the record and 7 tries off being all time. So,
Yeah, it's
yeah,
huge.
look, shout out to AJ. I think he might get it this year. He's absolutely killing it at the moment. But,
He's
mate,
going to
let's
get
go.
this year.
Yeah,
They're
I think so.
they play the Roosters at the end of the year. I think he's going to get the rest of them before that. Then they're going to rest him, and then in
And then
round
he'll get done
26,
in
round
that game.
27, when they play the Roosters, he's going to get his crowning moment. I think that's the game plan. He's going to be well rested.
No, he'll do his ACL. Let's jump into some Sunday Arvo footy now, mate. Sharks
Yeah.
v Broncos. Broncos getting it done 38-20, 34-28 now.
Cool. Yeah.
I was on the Sharks in this game, and we spoke on the pod last week, and I said as soon as I saw that it was a Sunday Arvo game, I went against the Broncos because they usually only win
Yep.
on Thursday night or a Friday night. They can't play day footy. Cronulla, oh my God, Cronulla started so red hot. Half time rolled around. I think they were 28-10 or 12,
Yeah.
28-12.
It was high. It was
Uh,
something around there. Yeah.
it's
It
something
was.
like that. And then all of
Yeah.
a sudden, no second half points, and the Broncos came and they came to play. And they just, as Nick
Yeah.
Makesard has just commented,
It's
shit and bed. Yes,
They
correct.
absolutely shit the bed, and they just decided let's not come out second half. We've got this, and yeah, it's classic fucking Cronulla, isn't it? Yeah, like I don't know, been supporting them long enough. Like I wasn't convinced at 28-10 at half time like that they're going to get it done. I thought no, it's nowhere
Yeah,
near enough. Like they need more, or they need to show up. And then Katoa on half time, right before half time, takes that as a man with
brain fade.
the little leg tap. Like, was it a dive? It doesn't matter if it was a dive. He just what a fucking ridiculous play that was. Like, man, and just a hard watch the second half. Just watching Brisbane slowly crawl their way back in the game, and I'm just sitting there with all me fucking Panthers mates, and you just listen to that shit.
I could imagine, mate.
you know,
I know I know
it's
all of
like
them, and I could imagine.
it's like
Mate, the Broncos I thought were really impressive that last 20 minutes. The other turning point for me was Braden Trindle when he kicked that ball out on the full. It was just you just looked and you went, oh, Sharks needed the momentum there. They needed to get on the front foot. That didn't help. Buddy Milan has said being a Sharks fan is like blindfolded rooting. You know you're about to get fucked, but don't know by who or when exactly, mate. Not that I have that experience. You might have to ask Dongle about that. But yeah, it's hard to tip them. It's hard to support
oh,
them
yeah.
as it must be. But yeah, look. Onwards and upwards for Cronulla. They do play
Uh,
Melbourne next week, so it does get better.
yeah, so was it? Hey, Melbourne show up like they did this week. We might have a chance. You never
They
know.
have a good record against them. You beat them already this year,
Yeah,
so
too. Yeah, we can only hope. Yeah, we can only hope. That's all good. Let's talk
exactly.
about the next game.
Let's
This
move
is more interesting.
into the absolute game of the round. Roosters
Ah,
v Cowboys. Roosters getting it done 42-8. Oh my God,
fucking
what
hell.
a game! What a game this was. Now, uh, Roosters. It was 6-0 early, and then it was 6-0 for probably 20, 25 minutes. And it was just back and forth footy, a lot of drop balls, a lot of errors, as per usual, Roosters footy. Cowboys, though, mate, Cowboys are absolutely terrible. Shout out to our Cowboy mates because I love yous, but I do not know what is next for the Cowboys. Even Todd Payton came out in their press conference and said it's so disappointing. It was like schoolyard footy out there. Like they just don't know what they're doing. The Roosters absolutely dominated. James Tedesco, it was the emergency services round. James Tedesco got the medal for that. He was incredible. I think he had 4 try assists, scored a try himself, 260 odd meters as per usual for Teddy. But I thought Billy Smith was really good in this game, especially in defense as well. I thought he did really well, a couple of big hits. And, of course, Mark Nawangani-Tawaze now, 2 tries. One that, again, was absolutely freaky. So, just keeping that tag there on
Yeah,
him. Mate,
yeah,
we didn't get to see this game, but what, what where do you think the Cowboys go from here, mate? Because it's appalling at the moment.
yeah. You're right. I didn't get to see the game, but yeah, like you said, man, it was 6-0 for a while, and then, like you just said, like I tuned in towards the end and I saw the score there. I'm like, there's no way, like that. That's what just happened here.
Yeah,
What did they do? Like, it's not like they had like a huge amount of outs, like Dearden played, Nano
yeah.
played, like all the Origins guys sort of backed up, and I
Potter
thought
and
they'd
Robson
be,
were late
yeah.
exclusions, but yeah, that was it.
You're right. Yeah, Robson didn't play. Yeah, but like I thought they would show up and do a little bit more. I mean, like Roosters been like also like fairly hot, fairly cold this year as
Yeah,
well. Like
yeah.
a team that's also like just convincing just yet, but they're sort of hitting their strides now. But I don't know, man. Like, what do they do from here? Like, who are they going to sort of come off the back of here? Like, I'm not too sure. Like, I like Jackson Purdue as a player, like, but I'm not too sure that him and like being a 5'8" is his best position either. Like, is
Yeah.
um is Jake Clifford injured? Like, is that why he's playing?
He got dropped a couple of weeks ago,
Yeah, I don't know about
and
that.
they moved Persia to 6, which yeah, I'm not a big fan of either. I really like Jake Clifford. I
Yeah.
like his kicking game. I thought he's a really
Yes.
good player, but
Yeah. He
you
dominated
know,
when they played the Raiders in I think it was like round like 4 or 5. He was brilliant. Like I think they beat the Raiders that year in that round as well. Like early
yeah,
on in the year, they're one of the few players that got over the top of the Raiders, which you wouldn't pick it now, but he was dynamite in the halves there. I don't know what's going on, but and Jackson Purgey was huge in the centres as well. Like he got a few tries as well. So if that's what they need to go back to, or I don't know if something's happened in the meantime. I'm obviously talking about an arse here, but because that's not the case. But hopefully he can make his way back in the team because I thought Clifford was huge at the start of the year.
yeah.
So,
It's interesting, mate. It's interesting, but look, credit to the Chooks. They're back in the top 8. They're 7th at the moment, heading into the
yes.
bye. So that was a 4-point win for them, which was fantastic. But let's jump into our final game of round 16: the Titans against Parramatta Eels. Now, Eels getting it done 36-20. All of us on the pod, we were on the tits. We were hoping the Titans would get up in this game. No Mitch Moses, no Dylan Brown for Parramatta, but no worries. They absolutely pumped them. Footy Dean Hawkins, he was incredible for them. Joash Papali'i at 6 as well, I thought was really good. The Titans losing Campbell early didn't help. They did have to do a reshuffle in their halves, and he did fail that, so he will serve a stand down policy 11 days, and then they're into the bye anyway. Mate, take us through what you thought of this game.
Yeah, look, I think I was the only one on the pod that took the Eels here. I think like they were huge, but then again, like once the Friday afternoon tips rolled around, I did take the Titans. So I've
Oh,
done myself a
no.
mischief here. I've just fucked myself again. So it's all good. But no, yeah. So Parrot, yeah, on the pod though, I did. Yeah, I said I'd take Parrot, but yeah, I told you all a lie there. Yeah, they were great, weren't they? And Joash Papali'i, I
Oh,
think
yeah.
because I think I said too during the pod, like Parrot were going to announce their new, I guess the Dylan Brown replacement.
Yeah.
This and whether it is Joe Ash because he was pretty damn good, yeah. But I think
Mm.
Hawkins as well will be pretty hard done by if he can't make his way back in the team obviously behind Mitch Moses. I think young, what's his name, Riley, is it Riley Smith? I think
Riley Smith, yeah.
yeah, he was great as well. The little man with the blue headgear there, he did bloody excellent too. Yeah, like they were everywhere tonight, Parramatta. Like that, I don't know, like the Spoon Bowl I think was pretty harshly done. Like it was one of the
Yeah.
better games this round. Yeah, like it was pretty damn good to see them both show up and obviously
Now,
Parramatta getting the win.
Titans are out right now on the bottom of the table, so they are
Mm,
17th. Not looking good for them. But again, this competition this year, who knows? I mean, there's teams that are, everyone had Roosters in their bottom four or not making the eight, and now they're seventh. It's just no one knows what's happening at the moment with these teams. But look, credit to the Parramatta Eels. I thought it was a great performance from them. Didn't help my tips at all. But that's it for the round. If we have any questions, please shoot them through. We got one from Bunny Millad. He said, saw something about Fafita to the Bunnies. Reckon that will happen. That's David Fafita. I did hear
right.
that. Apparently Fafita contacted Wayne Bennett throughout the week and said that he would like to come over there. Of course, Bennett, I think, coached him when he was at the Broncos early on. Uh, I could see it happening. I really could. I think Fafita obviously is out of favour at the Titans. He's been playing reserve grade
Mm,
and not
yeah.
enjoying that much at all. So I think if it happened, it would be a massive inclusion for the Bunnies. And I think Wayne Bennett's the sort of coach that could get the most out of Fafita.
Yeah. Huge is true, yeah. Imagine like if you played in the front row, like imagine him and then on one side and Keon Koloamatangi on the other side. Like that would be like
Yeah.
the best front row, like in the NRL by
And then Cam
a
Murray at lock.
fucking country mile. Yeah. That would be awesome. Like that would be really, really good to see. Like hopefully he
Yeah.
gets that over the line because yeah, I mean like him and Tino like would be or they should be dynamite as they are, but they're just not doing it. Yeah, like they obviously like Fafita's on the way out there. Like he's not wanted at the Gold Coast anymore, but yeah, why not put him against or put him up with someone massive at the Rabbitohs there, like
Yeah.
Keon, like that'd be fucking perfect for him. Get into it,
Absolutely. I
I'd say.
think
Like
I think it'll be a
absolutely
good
sign him
signing.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, it'll be
yeah,
real good.
brilliant, yeah.
In other news, Josh Schuster has announced that he is taking an indefinite break from the game at the Rabbitohs there as well. He's just focusing on some mental health, which I think is really good for Josh. He's had a few issues over the past couple of years, hasn't really found the form or the right mojo to play in the NRL.
Yeah,
So good to see him taking a break. In other news,
that's good.
not really much more to talk about. That is it for our Ruck report for this week. Please stay tuned throughout the week. Of course, episode 115 will be dropping Wednesday morning, so make sure you stay tuned for that. And fewer questions post will drop tomorrow, so get your questions in. It's going to be an absolute beauty. But until next time, that's the Dongle. I'm the Prophet. Be good.